Hi, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another edition of the Vet Method podcast, where we bring team training concepts to independent veterinary practice owners who want to grow revenues through a high-performance team. My name is Sanjay Mangabai, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Kimberly Shaffer. Hi, Kimberly, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So whereabouts are you today, Kimberly?
I am located in Northern Virginia, close to DC.
Okay. Hopefully a bit sunnier than it is down here.
It is a bit sunny today. It's a little sticky out though.
Fantastic. Okay. A little background about Kimberly. Kimberly is the Atlantic Coast Regional Manager at PSI Vet, and she's an LVT. That's a licensed veterinary technician for our UK listeners. And she's a fear-free certified professional. She has over 24 years experience in the veterinary industry, working at an independent practice for 20 years, and then as a practice consultant for 2.5 years. She now leads a team of 8 practice consultants with PSI Vet. That's very impressive, Kimberly. Leading a team of 8 consultants sounds like a bit of a challenge.
It's a new challenge for me. I just started this role in January, so I miss consulting in my member practices, but I'm getting to meet a lot more different practices along the coast. So in different areas of the country where people do things a little bit differently. So it's been great. And PSI Vet is professional services for the independent veterinarian.
Fantastic. Okay. So the title of the podcast is The Vet Detective, and we're going to talk to people about that in about 7 minutes. Okay, Kimberly, our time starts now. So question number 1, who is your ideal client?
So my ideal client is independent veterinary practice owners and practice managers.
Okay, so people who are generally very busy, have too much to do, not enough time to do it in, and putting out fires most of the time.
Exactly.
Those kind of people. Okay, yeah, all right, perfect. That leads us nicely on to question number 2. What's the biggest problem your clients face, and how would you help them solve it?
I would say that the providing them with an easy and entertaining method to learn, arming independent veterinary practice owners with a fresh take on old problems so they can be better caregivers to their people, their patients, and their business. I'm kind of trying to swap out self-help for group therapy by conversations on this podcast.
Absolutely. So learning and veterinary medicine are growing all the time. They're evolving, and I guess people need to adapt with the changing times, with the changing technologies and whatnot. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And question number 3, what are the typical symptoms people experience with that problem? You know, their pain points.
I think I hear things like, there's not enough hours in the day to tend to my clients, my patients, my team, and my business. There's just not enough time. And so I'm hoping that this will just help uncover and address some underlying issues so they can balance working both on and in their practice. And just in a lighthearted way to listen to someone who's heard stories and practiced, had a lot of the same experiences.
Absolutely. Time seems to be a very scarce resource in the average veterinary practice. The chaos of running the practice, working in it, like you say, and not having enough time to work on it, and that creates less time, etc., etc. Question number 4, what are the common mistakes people make when trying to solve that problem? The things they thought were going to work, but were never going to, the things that they try but fail.
I think just not giving themselves enough time. We say all the time, we don't have enough time, but sometimes you can't afford not to give that time. And the world can come crashing down around you, and you can be so hyper-focused on the tasks at hand and not realize the big picture. And so I think a lot of times that ends in turnover, and it ends in people being upset or having burnout or, just business issues. And just not really giving yourself enough time to give to those problems. And the problems are multifaceted, right? There's just in a sense problems that you face while managing your practice.
Absolutely. I find that you actually need to be very disciplined in carving out that time, time to think. Otherwise, you make decisions on the run, and often those are not the best decisions, and you end up having to fix problems that you could have avoided. And in veterinary medicine, everyone is very busy, but unfortunately, I don't think that they are sometimes very productive. Absolutely true. They need to have some time set aside to sort of work on the business. Right, so question number 5, and we've got just over 3 minutes left. What is one valuable free action that someone listening to this can implement that will help them solve their problem? What's your top tip for that?
I would say just utilize resources available to you, be it online resources, engage with your reps. There's a lot of free resources that are out there, but even if they have a dollar sign attached to them, sometimes that can be so much better than trying to find the time yourself. If you think about the amount of time that a practice owner or practice manager spends looking up metrics, how many hours, what's their per hour rate that they put into that they could have just paid a company to do it and make it easier for them.
Absolutely. So it's about knowing where to find the information, where to find it quickly, rather than spending a lot of time trying to do it all by themselves. I find that's true with the vets as well. I always teach the vets to learn to use the resources that they have, and it will save a lot of the time, make the job a lot easier. Great. So,
and obviously one easy free thing you could do is listen to the podcast.
Absolutely. Great. So let's go to question number 6. What is one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will further help with that problem?
And the free resource would be listening to the podcast, whether you're joining for a daily workout, a lunch break, or your commute. I'll meet them where they're at with transparent and candid insights to support them in their practice. And that way they can just kind of passively hear some pearls or even just relatable conversations.
Okay, fantastic. And I guess that those podcasts and blogs are on your website, psivet.com.
It is. psivet.com/thevetdetective will have the up to date of when the podcast is released. It has not been released yet. It is being released very, very soon.
Okay, awesome. And finally, question number 7. What's the one question, Kimberly, that I should have asked you that would give great value to our audience?
You're not always going to have all the answers or time, but just give yourself and your team that time for opportunities and to learn more and have fun with it.
Absolutely, and that's just so true. It's a really important tip, really. We just don't have enough time, but we have to somehow carve out that time and focus on doing the important rather than doing too many things. Thanks, Kimberly. Really exciting, really interesting and fascinating stuff. For me, it's a no-brainer having to, looking for those resources. And I would encourage everyone to listen to the podcast that are on your website. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.